Call the meeting of Bethel Park Council to order for August 11, 2014 at 7:30 p.m. Mr. Spagnuolo, please call the roll.
Colella.
Here.
Dixon.
Here.
Gibbons.
Here.
Hannon.
Present.
Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Mowry. O'Brien.
Present.
Tate. 7.
7 members are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm not here yet.
Under Chair announcements, an executive session of council was held on Monday, July 28, 2014 to discuss personnel and legal issues. And this evening, before coming out of an executive session, council was held on Monday, August 11th to discuss litigation. Let's move to the report of the officials and the police chief's report. Rogan? You're on.
No library.
Good evening, everyone. A couple announcements. One is one that I've given you a couple times. The next Crime Watch meeting, however, has been changed. We have a change of date to Tuesday, October 26th at 6:30 p.m. And that formerly was going to be on August 25th, but it's been moved to August 26th at the Bethel Park Community Center. And basically this was changed to allow people to attend the Pittsburgh Power Cardinal baseball game, where our newest young officer, Joey Fabus, was going to be throwing out the first pitch. So we changed the crime prevention watch meeting to a different date to accommodate that. And if you have any questions about it, you can contact the police department crime prevention officer, Officer Rigatti. The badges and bats. This is a Bethel Park Police benefit softball game against the Mount Lebanon Police Department. We're raising money for Special Olympics. The game's going to be played on Wednesday, August 13th at 6 p.m. at Millennium Park Field. The game is being sponsored by Allstate Insurance, and they have been gracious as far as donating to Special Olympics. And they also are sponsoring a speed monitor trailer message board, which many of you may have seen at the entrance to our police department. We received it today, and that was a donation by Allstate Insurance, and it's greatly appreciated, and hopefully it'll help control people speeding who sometimes maybe just aren't paying attention to their speedometers, and when they actually see it on that speed monitor, they realize they have to slow down. There's going to be a 50-50 raffle at this event, and the donations are all going to be going to Special Olympics. In a community challenge that we have between Bethel Park and Mount Lebanon, the Mount Lebanon Police Department has collected $1,000 in donations, and the Bethel Park Police Department has collected $900. So we're looking for a little bit of a boost there to try to match the Mount Lebanon Police Department's donations from their community. So if you'd like to make a donation, please contact the Crime Prevention Office. Again, we're also accepting applications for the 2015 Citizen Police Academy and the Law Enforcement Apprenticeship Program. The Police Academy will start on Wednesday, January 14, 2015, which is 12 weeks of instruction from various law enforcement entities. I need to set this down. And if you're interested, again, please contact the Crime Protection Office. The Bethel Park Police Meritorious Award Scholarship winners are going to be announced tonight. Each year, the Police Meritorious Awards Committee offers a $500 scholarship to police officers' children as well as other employees of the police department. And this year, they have selected 4 young people to receive a $500 scholarship for their academic endeavors that are going to be taking place with them. And if I could have, it looks like I only have 1 in the audience, but the 4 people who were awarded a scholarship are Cammie Kirsch, Kayla Kirsch, Mia Rigatti, who I see in the audience. So if you could come up, Mia, I would appreciate that. And Kimberly Roberts. So these 4 young people have received an award from the Police Meritorious Award Committee for $500. And if Mayor Allen could come up and help with this issue. Mr. Allen is also on the Police Meritorious Award. And we can present her check to her, the Mia Rigatti one. And then we will see that the other 3 people get their check soon. Congratulations. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Next, we have the fire chief's report.
Good evening. My name is Dave Gerber. I'm the fire chief with the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. I'm here to give you the fire chief's report tonight. Normally I start off by going over the fire calls that we had for the month of July. Start off a little different way tonight. We have some sad news. On June 28th, one of our line officers, Captain Rich Runsky, was sent to the hospital with stroke-like symptoms. After further testing in the hospital, they found out that he had a deep-seated brain tumor in his head. Captain Runsky had it operated on and was recovering, still in the hospital, but he was slowly recovering. Last night, Captain Runsky passed away. So if Rich was 54 years old, he served with the fire department here for 8 years. He was serving and running fire calls up until the day he got sick. So if you guys could keep his family in his thoughts and prayers, we would greatly appreciate it. It's, like I said, deeply affected the members over there at the fire department. And so if you could keep us in your thoughts and prayers, we'd appreciate it. For the month of July, the fire department ran 44 total calls. 2 structure fires, a dumpster fire, a vehicle fire, a telephone pole on fire, 2 trees on fire, 2 cooking accidents, 4 gas leaks, 2 mutual aid calls, 2 wires down, a lift assist, 1 tree on a house, 2 odor investigations, 1 vehicle accident, an electrical condition, and 21 false alarms. One last thing here for you real quick tonight. The fire department will be hosting an Oktoberfest coming up on October 18th. It'll be held over at the community center. With that, tickets are $25. That will include food, beer. There will be a DJ. We'll have some raffles. We'll have some games of chance over there. There will be a Chinese auction. As I said, there'll be a DJ and stuff. All kind of fun stuff to do. If you're interested in tickets, see one of the firemen. We are working on in the next week or so, hopefully having, you'll be able to purchase the tickets online. And also we're going to have them out at a couple of the local businesses, and I'll have to give you the exact names of the businesses next month because I don't have them off the top of my head. But you can go to our website, www.bethelparkvfc.com. Take a look, and all that information and where you'll be able to buy tickets and stuff will be on there. And like I said, you'll be able to buy them online. So with that, quick and easy tonight, guys. Any questions? Good to go?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dave.
Next, we have Mayor Allen, the mayor's report.
Thank you, Chairman. I have 2 items tonight. The first one is actually Senator Smith is here, and we just wanted to announce that this Saturday, the 16th, there's a shredding event at the high school from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in the parking lot of the high school. And that's also in conjunction with the municipality of Bethel Park, AV True Value, and of course Senator Smith. What you can bring are credit card statements or applications, bank statements, canceled checks, old income tax information, insurance and medical records, and materials with identifying personal information like Social Security, credit card, or bank account numbers. Phone books, newspapers, and bound books cannot be accepted. And if you have any questions, you can call Senator Smith's office at 412-571-2169, or you can go online at www.senatormattsmith.com. The second item I have is for the month of August. I wanted to contribute or announce that the company, well, actually not a company, but the people that make Bethel Park someplace special for this month is the South Hills Interfaith Ministry. And it's real funny because the last 3 years I helped Tom Mergatti down at the food bank when we collected and put the food together at the fire station, and the different organizations would come and pick it up, and then at the very end of the day, the rest of the product was sent to Shim. And of course I had no idea where it was. So he pointed down the road and said, it's right there on the corner of Park Avenue and South Park Road. So it's real close. Shim has actually 3 gardens, as far as I know, and Jim McGuffey's here. I'll bring him up in a minute. They grow fruit and vegetables at St. Joan of Arc. They have their own at the building, and I think there's a small garden in Coverdale, and that's run by Diane Ford. And what was nice is I met with Jim last week, and we're going to try to work together, Bethel Park and their organization, to see what we can do and how we could be more involved with them and then be more involved with us. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Jim Guffey, who's the executive director, and he'll tell you a little bit more about the South Hills Interfaith Ministry.
Good evening. First, I would like to say to council and to the representatives here from the community, a big thank you on our behalf. It's blessed that we moved into the community in 2009. We've been serving the Bethel Park community as many of the South Hills communities for over the last 48 or so years. But we moved into the community in 2009, and I will say to the police force and what they do for the community here in assisting Shim, thank you very much for allowing the officers to do that. And I will also say this, and this probably doesn't happen too often, I'd like to thank Jerry and his staff in Public Works and the building codes. When we moved into the building, Jerry and I met, as well as Todd and yes, and they've been wonderful when we've had our needs. So again, thank you very much for welcoming us into your community. I brought some information here because there's 2 things I want to accomplish this evening in the few moments that I have. And one is to make sure that everybody leaving here today understands that no family in Bethel Park or even the surrounding communities should be struggling to make ends meet. That's the role of what Shim is here to do, and to assist families in 2 various ways. One is direct assistance, so critical needs. The idea that families in our community, and folks don't normally associate Bethel Park with struggling families, but Bethel Park, Mount Lebanon, Upper St. Clair, if I talk to the building officials and the police, they know where a lot of these families live in the community. And it's the idea that through direct assistance, critical needs, families that are struggling to put food on their table, medications, making tough decisions, clothing, utility assistance. Shim is one of the few Dollar Energy screening sites in the community here in the South Hills. So anyone that you go into a home in the South Hills where there's a family that has a shut-off notice or they've been terminated with utilities, Shim can possibly help them file their appropriate paperwork. We also help a lot of families with just the general programs that are available through information and referral, and the state programs that are there as a safety net for all the citizens, regardless of age, for folks to make sure that they're covered in whether it's health insurance or food stamps or those kinds of programs. But our long-term goal at Shim is to not only give the people the fish today, but it's to teach them to fish long-term. And so what we try to do is work with people on self-sufficiency issues. Somewhere along the line, people forgot how to manage money. And the idea of spending more than what you have and those things. So we have a financial literacy program. We have a paid professional financial counselor who works with people on restoring their credit, looking at mortgage foreclosures coming out of the Great Recession, and those kinds of programs, as well as we have a job employment program. So a lot of effort to help the community here in the South Hills. So that's one thing I want you all to take, and I'm going to give you each a brochure here, is the idea that no family, if you know of a neighbor, a friend, a family member, no family has to go without here in Bethel Park community or the South Hills. The other thing, though, is that we need help at times. And that's through the various donations, whether it's in-kind product like the food, through the Police Pals food drive, whether it's donations. I say to my staff all the time, cash is king. It allows us to leverage buying power. We're part of the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank Network, so $1 given to us, I can make that stretch a lot further than folks doing it on their own. So in-kind products. Tomorrow or later this week, we will be giving away back-to-school supplies and backpacks. During the holiday time, we have an in-kind gift drive, so we can always use help of stuff and, most importantly, cash. So again, Mayor, thank you for giving us this opportunity to come and help educate the folks, and we look forward to continuing to serve Bethel Park and working closely. As Jack and I have talked, anyone where you know there's pockets of poverty, we're going to talk about how we can concentrate to better help serve those areas in the community here. So thank you.
Certificate of recognition presented to South Hills Interfaith Ministries for dedication to the Bethel Park community, awarded this 11th day of August 2014. So we will be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. Next is approval of minutes. Mr. McLean.
First item is the approval of the minutes of our regular meeting of July 14th, 2014. I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of July 14, 2014.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the regular council meeting minutes of July 14th, 2014. Mr. Spagnon, please call the roll.
Dixon,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is bills and payrolls. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 081114 in the amount of $3,828,189.12.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the bills and payrolls for municipality for bill list number 081114 in the amount of $3,828,189.12. Any discussion from council? Mr. Spagnon, please call the roll.
Givens,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
7-2.
Motion passes 7-0. The next item is the resident comments section. However, I'm going to make some acknowledgments that in our audience today, our county councilwoman Sue Means is here, Senator Matt Smith is here, and Representative of the 37th District, Rick Sircone, is here. So I'd like to acknowledge them to the public that they are present at our meeting tonight.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. O'Brien.
if they would like to come up and tell us what's going on within, I would think that's appropriate at this time.
Okay. The floor is yours.
It's nice to hear them.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. I actually have come bearing gifts, and I'm going to call the mayor back up again. And as many of you know, Bethel Park was recognized as a 2014 banner community by the Allegheny League of Municipalities. And it's really nice because we all know Bethel is a banner community, and having grown up here, I certainly know that. And whether it's playing in the park, I drove through the high school earlier tonight, and the kids are starting to play football out there. They're playing tennis, they're playing soccer, and there are so many things that make Bethel Park a banner community and a special community. It's the way that Bethel Park recognizes our nation's veterans, and the way Bethel Park recognizes the community's public safety professionals. But one of the things that to me always stands out when you talk about special communities, and Bethel certainly at the top of that list, it's the people. And the people of Bethel Park are truly very special. So it was an honor for me. I want to congratulate Mayor Allen, congratulate council, congratulate all of the staff on this recognition as a 2014 banner community here in Allegheny County. And one of the really nice things we're able to do when we do citations like this to recognize a special community or a special individual in the community is communicate to all of our colleagues in the State House and the State Senate about this particular achievement. So it was a real honor for me, being born and raised here in Bethel Park, to be able to communicate to all of my colleagues in the State Senate about what a special community Bethel Park is. So it's with that I present this citation to Mayor Allen, to council, to all of the staff here in Bethel Park on a well-deserved recognition. without further ado, I'm going to bring up my colleague from the State House, Representative Rick Saccone.
Thank you, Senator Smith. Thank you all. Yeah, Senator Smith said it well. I don't know what I can add other than I've been trying to develop a relationship with Bethel Park, and this is one of the friendliest communities. I have 12 municipalities in my legislative district, and meeting the people of Bethel Park, I can say you really are a very friendly community. I'm on behalf of the State House of Representatives, and on behalf of my two colleagues, your current representatives, Representative Miller and Representative Marr, I brought a citation from the State House. Now, there are a lot of whereas and wherefores in here, but I just want to read the last paragraph of it to you because I really think it summarizes the importance of this award and also a little bit about your community. So bear with me while I put my peepers on here. It says, whereas, as a banner community, Bethel Park implements best practices in all aspects of its operations and governs in an inclusive, collaborative manner. It has set a standard of how government should function and proven itself as a model through its commitment to effective and efficient government principles, which are also accountable to its residents. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Bethel Park on the great honor which has been bestowed upon it, offers best wishes for continued growth and prosperity in the years to come. It's signed by the Speaker of the House, Sam Smith, and has a beautiful picture of our State House of Representatives on it. So I'd like to present that to the Mayor and to the Council. And congratulations, and I wish you continued success in the future. Thank you. God bless you.
I just want to challenge our municipal manager and the rest of the staff that it was very gracious to have this award for this year, and we will do it again next year, and we expect you to come back and do the same thing. So thank you very much.
Well, I didn't realize it was an awards night, but it is. Congratulations from County Council. Bethel Park's my hometown. I'm just really proud of everyone. You all work together in concert. Your staff, Council for Good Government, for what's best for the citizens of Bethel Park. You're an example to everyone. All the surrounding communities, all forms of government. I'm going to go home and tell my husband the school board needs to take a good look at how well you guys get together, work together. But I promise I will give you an award in the future. And I just want to tell you, I'm just really, really proud of you, and congratulations.
Thanks, Sue. And we'll now move to resident comments, things that aren't on the agenda. You've got 3 minutes, and the manager will give you after 2 minutes, the manager will give you a ding to conclude your remarks.
Thank you. I don't think we're going to come here and speak after these accolades to our fine community here. I'm here representing the Bethel Park Historical Society.
Name and address,
I tell people,
please.
and they say, never heard of it.
Name and address, please.
I'm sorry. Dick Kraft, 102 Highland Road, Bethel. Like I was saying, tell people about the Bethel Park Historical Society, they say, what's never heard of it. We're trying to change that. We have a campaign going on now to try to get more members to join our group. We meet at the old schoolhouse on Park Avenue, where your streetcar is, and we have some big agenda going on there. For one thing, we want to restore the windows in the building, as a lot of them are falling apart. We also want to create a website. We have a classroom we want to dedicate to historical purposes for paraphernalia, documents, anything of the nature of that pertains to the Bethel Park community. And we also, our history, we're very proud of our community because of our history with streetcars and the mining industry in Coverdale and so forth. So before you adjourn, after you adjourn tonight, I have an application for all of you to join. So stick around. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kraft.
Hi, my name's Tom Skelton. I live at 5038 Sherwood Road. I've been up here earlier, several months ago, And I wanted to come tonight to thank people for what has been going on. The municipality has done a great job on the creek behind Sherwood Road and the maintenance of the same thing. We haven't been flooded in a good while now, and we appreciate it. And the other thing I have is I also had a little sad tale about having to use the GPS system to find my way in and out of Bethel Park because all the signs were missing. And I'm happy to say that there's at least 10, if not 12 signs out there right now in Bethel Park saying either welcome to the Municipality of Bethel Park or Municipality of Bethel Park Public Works Complex. And they look great. They look better than Upper St. Clair's, Castle Shannon's, and all those other guys out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Ray Black, and I live at 906 Vista Glen Drive. And I, too, are here to speak on behalf of the Historical Society. But first, I would like to say there was a lady in our community who has been a longtime member of our historical group down there, and also of South Arts. She was a founding member of South Arts, which has been around since 1969, I believe it was. And she just passed away on Saturday. So she was a lovely lady, a wonderful lady, excellent artist, and I just want to remember her to the public. She was a wonderful person. I'm here to represent the Bethel Park Historical Society. In March of this year, Bob Baxendale and myself spoke to you of the Schoolhouse Arts Center, and I want to update you on the current goings-on. A new interim board of directors was installed in July to provide guidance for the upcoming projects of membership, maintenance, remodeling, and fundraising, among others. At this point, I would like to recognize a few people who kept the organization functioning in the last few years. They are, in particular, Jay Wells, Patricia and Richard Kraft, Patty O'Shea, and Clay Olson. They hung in there when everybody else kind of vacated the premises. Thanks to the number of people who have the same feeling for the center, the Historical Society is currently kicking off a membership drive. We have enrolled 25 new members in this last month. I understand that Brookside Lumber is very interested in joining and becoming involved, and we are hoping to have more local businesses become involved. We will continue to drive at our booth during the upcoming Bethel Community Days, and we're looking forward to that. In addition to what we are in the process of setting up our museum for Bethel's historical information that we have, and will be soliciting new materials from the public to add to their current inventory. An exciting event is happening as we speak. Columbia Gas has approached the Society Board and offered a sizable lump sum for a long-term lease of a 15-foot square piece of property that we own to install a new gas pressure regulating station in this area. We are in the feasibility phase of at this point. You have a packet of information that I believe you will find very interesting. Information from the year 2000 stating historical information and research that was done at that time. I believe that was handed out to you. I implore you to read that because you'll find it very interesting about that building down there and what has taken place in the past, and we're trying to revive that. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. If you have any questions, please contact me, and thank you for this time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Bob Swish. I live at 2848 West Monroe Street. I'd like to make a short statement. I've already talked to Mr. Murray and Mr. Pape, my representative, shortly for a brief period last week. But as I told them, this is not a neighborhood problem that we have. This is, I believe, a community problem. The house next door to me at 2844 West Monroe was just sold. I spoke with, last Monday, a week ago today. I spoke with the new owner. He was a veteran, or not, a former resident of Bethel Park. He now lives in Maryland. He bought the house as an investment property. He's renting it to a corporation called Envision Human Services. He told me, don't worry, this is fine. These people deal with mentally challenged people, but he owns another one on Clark Avenue here in Bethel, and there is no problem. You don't have to worry about it. I went online and I checked with these people actually treat. The website of Envision Human Services say they treat individuals with mental behavior problems, which include violent behavior, problematic sexual behavior, aggressive behaviors, and other mental behavior problems in their residential programs, which means their homes that they have, like here in Bethel, that Mr. Rossfer presently owns. In discussions with the neighbors, I also found out there is another house on Florida Avenue owned by Fayette Resources. I don't know exactly what they treat yet, but I will be finding out. These companies, these aren't homes for residents. These are companies running businesses in our residential areas. On the Bethel Park website, it says occupancy permits must be gained for any change of use of any property, and also the zoning permit for the same purpose.
1 minute.
Talking with the Bethel Park officials I've talked to, I've been to the Pier of the Borough building a number of times. They said they were enforcing federal law, and that there's nothing that can be done about it. Online, I found the Fair Housing Act 42 of the U.S. Code. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but I've been to Mr. Murphy, Congressman Murphy's office. He tells me that there is nothing in the federal law that mandates that these facilities be in the residential areas. In addition, a realtor has informed me that because of these homes, I'm going to call them homes because I don't know what else they call them, businesses I should say, they're in these areas, that our property values are going to go down. Try to sell a home that has a like the one right next door to me, where those people are. They said, I'm going to have a hard time selling my home. I just have two questions for the council. What we'll be seeing more of me probably, and I understand that, but I would like to know why the Bethel ordinances aren't available to the citizens online. Other communities have it, and there might be a reason, and why there's been no notification from the Bethel Park government to the residents of these neighborhoods, because I understand from the zoning department there are quite a few of these over the whole Bethel Park municipality. That's questions. If any of you guys want to answer it, that's the two.
Well, as far as we've had discussions about putting our ordinances online, and that's probably going to happen within the next 6 months or so. That's going to happen. The idea that all due respect to the congressman, he's not a lawyer, and we have to follow the law, and the law is that we are restricted in what we can enforce as far as these types of activities in our community. I don't know if the solicitor would want to make any comments in general about those kind of activities, but if, let's say we would sue them, they would win, and we'd pay their legal fees. That's how these suits have happened. This has been going on for 25 years. These types of operations have been going on. So even before I was on council, we used to have a Home Residential Advisory Committee, which I think I was on the first one of those. And that their role was to do things going around and making sure they're in compliance with the laws. And even that became untenable because of the way the case law on these situations work. So the solicitor has any comments?
Mr. Hannon, I think you said it very well. The statutes are the Americans with Disabilities Act in particular, as well as other legislation. And we've researched this and gone over it many times. There is no way you can use zoning ordinances to regulate the use of residences for people who suffer from handicaps or mental handicaps. Now, the zoning officer might be able to add to what the procedures are, but the notion that you have an obligation or somehow you notify residents when someone's using a home for these purposes, there's just no basis for it in the ordinance or the law.
Well, how about as a business? These people aren't renting or paying anything there. The businesses are paying either rent to a private party that owns that place, or they're buying the home themselves to run a business. And that is a business.
The residential activity trumps all. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, most of them are.
And they're contractors with social service agencies.
I don't want to get into a back and forth.
No, but that's basically what we have. This issue has come up. It hasn't come up recently, but has come up. I mean, our long-term members of council can say this has been discussed over the last 25 or 30 years in various aspects of that. But we are really hamstrung on what we can do.
Well, there's 3 of these homes or facilities within a quarter mile of my home. And like I said, I don't want to get into a back and forth
Right.
because
But
I'm
that's
just
our
getting into
position.
this.
Yes.
And once I find out more, then we can, well, I guess I told Mr. Murray I would go through John Pape.
Okay.
As my representative.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay. Next, we'll go to General Policy and Finance and Mr. McLean.
Mr. Chairman, we have no items on the agenda tonight under General Policy and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Any additional items? Okay. Planning and Zoning, Mr. Dixon.
Mr. Hannon, we have one item under Planning and Zoning this evening. That is a storm and sanitary sewer relocation contract for the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company Brightwood Road Station project. I move that we award the storm and sanitary sewer relocation contract for the Brightwood Road Station project to A.W. McNabb, Inc. for a lump sum bid of $148,000 in accordance with the project architect's correspondence dated June 24, 2014.
We have a motion and a second to award the storm and sanitary sewer relocation contract for the Brightwood Road Station project to A.W. McNabb, Inc. for the lump sum bid of $148,000 in accordance with the project architect's correspondence dated June 24th, 2014. Any discussion from council? Mr. Spagnon, please call the roll.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes,
Gibbons.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Dixon.
that's all we have under Planning and Zoning this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Next, Health, Safety, and Welfare, Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Chairman, there are no items under health, safety, and welfare, but I have a few.
Okay.
Just to let people know that this is the Coast Guard month. The flag's flying in the memorial this month in honor of the Coast Guard's birthday. They're very nice, and last month we had great response from the historical flags flying for the month of July. One quick thing. Based on talking about the business and talking about Bethel Park, I'd just like to share, we all have families and we all end up with problems. And I have a young daughter who has an old car, and sometimes problems come up, and it had a unique problem. And, when these problems come up, you search for everybody you know, and maybe somebody has an answer. So I called everyone and trying to find out how this unique problem can be fixed. And it turns out a good friend of mine, Jeff Connick, said, try Bennions right here in Bethel Park. I took it down there, and everyone else just said, I don't know what to do with it. And the business in this town just said, yeah, we can handle that. And then on the other hand, we all have our cables. We have Verizon or we have Comcast. And for many weeks, I'm looking at my Verizon bill, and I call them, and I say, I'll deal with it next week, and really not sure what to do. And on my door is a little door knocker. It says Comcast representative Danny Wilson. And Danny Wilson's a neighbor of mine. I played ball with Danny Wilson. I called Danny up. Danny says, let me take a look at it. And it turns out that I'm dealing with somebody from Bethel Park to deal with my cable bill. And I find out that I'm paying for HD TV for all these years, and I don't even have the equipment that even portrays it. I don't watch much TV. It's my children. And it turns out that Danny did, Danny took care of me. The bill was lower. I'm sure it's promotional. But my point is that sometimes we look all the way around for answers, and we have them right here in Bethel Park with our own businesses. So before you look outside, look here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. The next item on Public Works and Maintenance, Ms. Gibbons.
There are no items on the agenda.
Any additional items? All righty. Before we adjourn, I want to make a couple, at least one statement. 10 days from today is my mother's 90th birthday. So I want to give her the best wishes for a long and happy additional life. She's Bethel Park resident for the last 30-plus years. And again, I wouldn't be here if she wasn't around, so I do appreciate her and all she does for us. And And on those same aspects, Mr. O'Brien has something to say about our president, who happens to be out of the state today.
Well, yeah, the gentleman who always refers to me as Mr. O'Brien, today is August 11th, is Timothy Mowry's birthday. And if you'd all would join me, I'd like to sing for Jimmy's mother and Timmy a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Murray and Jim's mother. Happy birthday to you. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're out of here. Thank you.